Hi, girls. Today is Monday, and I have several meetings that I'm at today. So I figured that we could record our lesson for today. Um, Remember that our objective is determining whether a number is prime or composite. We started with definition, so we have to finish number one because we didn't check that off. And we have 3 problems on page 212. You have a test prep problem, which is super easy. And then instead of the puzzles for today, you are going to be watching the 5.6 video, but I'll remind you during this. All right, so let's get started with our definitions. On Friday, we boxed in the word prime, and we wrote down our definition for prime numbers, which is a whole number greater than 1 that has exactly 2 factors, 1 and itself. And one of our examples, I'll write it over here because I have some space, was the number 7, because 7 only has 2 factors, 1 and 7. Now, composite, let's move over to this one. So if you haven't yet, pause this video and grab this paper out of your math folder, please. So go ahead and do that now. And get yourself a pencil. All right, let's get ready to do our definition. If you need to pause this at any time to grab your things, go right ahead. So I'll move this a little bit closer so you guys can see. There we go. Okay. So with your pencil, find the word composite in the second box and go ahead and circle it or put a box around it because we're talking about a composite number. And with your pencil, please neatly write the definition. Is a whole number greater than 1 that has more than 2 factors. You may pause this to slow it down and to write your definition. And then here are our examples. I only did 2 instead of 4 because I ran out of room. But we can see here that the number 12 is a composite number because it has more than 2 numbers that multiply together to get 12. So I did a factor rainbow like we've been working on. Numbers 1 and 12 multiply together, 2 and 6, and 3 and 4. So because there's more than 2 factors, it is a composite number. That's the only difference between prime and composite. Prime has exactly 2 factors that multiply together. Composite has more than 2 numbers. I also used 8 as an example. 8 has more than 2 numbers that multiply together. You see it's got 1 and 8 and 2 and 4, making it a composite number. All right, well, that was easy. So we're going to move on to looking at a couple of example problems here. So if you can grab your math books for me and open up to page 212 and go ahead and pause this so you get your math book out. You need a pencil and meet me on page 212. We're going to take a look at numbers 2, 4, and 5. They're towards the bottom of the page. So go ahead and pause it, grab your books, and I'll meet you back here so we can work through these together. Okay, thanks for getting your book out and being ready to learn. So we're looking at number 2 on page 212. So I'll put a reminder up here. We are on page 212. Page 212. And we're looking at number 2. Next to the number 2, you see the number 11. And the directions are asking us to tell whether 11 is prime or composite. You don't have to write this, but if you want, you can. Okay. Now make sure you have your study guide next to you too, with your rules on it. We're going to learn a strategy to determine whether a number is prime or composite so that we can make sure we're writing the right answer. So pause the video right now and go grab yourself a blue calculator and bring that back to your desk. All right, now that you have your blue calculator, what we're going to do is go back to our divisibility rules, where we would run through dividing our numbers by 2, 3, and 4 to determine if we would get a whole number or not. This is going to help us also determine if the number is prime or composite. If it is prime, it will not be divisible by 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. It will only be divisible by itself and by 1. So let's check 11. I'm going to plug 11 into my calculator, and we're going to hit divided by 2. What do we get? 5.5. That's a decimal. So 11 is not divisible by 2 because I don't get a whole number. All right, I'm going to keep checking. 11 divided by 3. It's also not divisible by 3 because I get a decimal when I do that. So keep going. I will work alongside with you. 11 divided by 4. Nope. 11 divided by 5. Nope, still getting a decimal. 11 divided by 6. Definitely not. 11 divided by 7. Nope. 11 divided by 8. Still a decimal. Rounding out here, the home stretch, 11 divided by 9. Nope. And then I've got 11 divided by 10. Take a guess. Still a decimal. So, can we do 11 divided by itself? Of course. You can always divide a number by itself. You get 1. This number is prime because the only factors that it has are 1 and itself. That's it. No other number that we used to divide into 11 worked. We got a decimal every time. So 11 is a prime number. Now you're going to do the same thing that we just did for numbers 4 and 5. I'll also write those problems on the board so that you can pause and make sure that you're doing the right one. So if we look at number 4, I'm putting a circle around it so I don't confuse the 4 with the other number. Number 4 is 69. Okay, so you're determining if 69 is prime or composite. You're going to write that on the line here. Remember, use your divisibility, use your calculator to divide it by 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we've got number 5, which is number 42. Okay, so go ahead, pause the video now, and go ahead and solve numbers 4 and 5. I'm going to be checking these tomorrow when I see you guys, so please have these done. All right, pause. Go ahead. Okay, last one, friends. So if we look at our board, we have completed, there we go. Okay, we have completed our definitions. We have completed page 212. So the very last one we're going to look at is the test prep. So flip your page over. We're going to look at page 213. And we're looking at number 19. It should have a star next to it because it's a test prep problem. And the problem reads, the number 2 is, and it gives you several choices, is the number 2 prime? Whoa, sorry, my handwriting does not look good upside down. Is number 2 composite? What else does it say? Is number 2 neither prime or composite? Or is number 2 both prime and composite? Okay, use your calculator to help you figure it out. What do you think? Bubble in one of your answers, and I'll be checking. Now, pause this, finish it out. When you're done, you are going to watch